Hello everyone, I'm Elisa and I'm going to be representing Team Aura for today's hot seat. So the topic is book talk. It is about talking about a book that had most impact on your life. So that book would be The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, which is an autobiography by Anne Frank, who is a teenage Jewish girl who had kept a diary while her family was hiding from the Nazis during World War II, which was the time of Hitler. She died in 1945 at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in Germany. So how this book had an impact on me. So one of the main things that I felt while reading this book is gratefulness. So when I think about how much better our lives is compared to theirs and those times, I feel very thankful and grateful for the technology, better education, and modernization and all. So this is one of the books that had the greatest impact on me. So yeah, that's it. If you have any doubts on the book, yeah, you can ask me.
ഹായ് ഐ മനോമി. എനിക്കേറെ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട ഒരു പുസ്തകമാണ് ആൻ ഫ്രാങ്കിന്റെ ഡയറി കുറിപ്പുകൾ. യുദ്ധത്തിന്റെയും വംശവെറിയുടെയും ദുരന്ത ഫലങ്ങൾ മാനവരാശിയുടെ മേൽ എന്തെന്നു ക്രൂരതകളായി പെയ്തിറങ്ങുമെന്ന് ലോകത്തോട് വിളിച്ചു പറഞ്ഞ മഹത്തായ ഒരു കൃതിയാണ് ആൻ ഫ്രാങ്കിന്റെ ഡയറി കുറിപ്പുകൾ. ഹിറ്റ്ലറുടെ ക്രൂരതകൾ ലോകമറിയാൻ ഇടവരുത്തി എന്നത് ഈ ഗ്രന്ഥത്തിന്റെ പ്രാധാന്യത്തെ വർദ്ധിപ്പിക്കുന്നു. യുദ്ധമുഖത്ത് നിന്ന് എപ്പോൾ വേണമെങ്കിലും കടന്നു വന്നേക്കാവുന്ന മരണം മുന്നിൽ കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് ജീവിതത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് ഒരുപാട് സ്വപ്നങ്ങൾ പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു പെൺകുട്ടി തന്റെ വികാരങ്ങൾ ആത്മാർത്ഥമായും സത്യസന്ധമായും ആവിഷ്കരിക്കുകയാണ് ഇവിടെ. 1929 ജൂൺ 12 ജർമ്മനിയിലെ ഒരു യഹൂദ കുടുംബത്തിൽ ജനിച്ച ഒരു പെൺകുട്ടിയാണ് ആൻ ഫ്രാങ്ക്. ഓട്ടോ ഫ്രാങ്കിന്റെയും ഈഡിത്ത് ഫ്രാങ്കിന്റെയും മകൾ. മാർഗോട്ട് ചേച്ചിയുടെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട ആൻ. തന്റെ 4-ാം വയസ്സിൽ ആ കുടുംബം ജർമ്മനിയിൽ നിന്ന് ഹോളണ്ടിലേക്ക് കുടിയേറി. അഡോൾഫ് ഹിറ്റ്ലർ എന്ന നരാധമൻ യഹൂദരെ ആജന്മ ശത്രുക്കളായി കരുതി ക്രൂരമായി പീഡിപ്പിക്കാനിടയായതാണ് കാരണം. ഹോളണ്ട് കീഴടക്കിയ ഹിറ്റ്ലർ അവിടെയും യഹൂദർക്കെതിരെ പീഡനത്തിന്റെ പെരുമഴ പെയ്യിച്ചു. പൗരാവകാശങ്ങളൊന്നും തന്നെ അവർക്ക് ലഭിച്ചില്ല. അടിമത്തത്തിന്റെ നരക ജീവിതമായിരുന്നു അവർ നയിച്ചത്. ഒളിച്ചോടുകയോ കീഴടങ്ങുകയോ ചെയ്യാം. രണ്ടായാലും ക്രൂരമായ ശിക്ഷാവിധികളോ വധശിക്ഷയോ യഹൂദരെ കാത്തിരുന്നു. പഠിച്ചിരുന്ന സ്കൂളിൽ നിന്ന് പോലും ആനിനും ചേച്ചിക്കും പുറത്തു പോരേണ്ടി വന്നു. ഹിറ്റ്ലറിന്റെ പോലീസ് അവരുടെ വീട് കണ്ടുകെട്ടും എന്നായപ്പോൾ ആനിന്റെ കുടുംബം സ്വന്തം വീട് ഉപേക്ഷിച്ച് ഒളിത്താവളത്തിലേക്ക് മാറുന്നു. അനെക്സ് എന്ന് ചരിത്രം പേരിട്ട് വിളിക്കുന്ന സങ്കേതത്തിൽ 1942 ജൂലൈ 7 അവർ രഹസ്യ ജീവിതം ആരംഭിച്ചു. ഒന്ന് ചിരിക്കാനോ ചുമയ്ക്കാനോ ഉറക്കെ സംസാരിക്കാനോ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യമില്ലാത്ത അടച്ചിട്ട ജനാലകൾക്കും വാതിലുകൾക്കുമുള്ളിൽ അവർ ജീവിച്ചു 2 വർഷത്തിലധികം കാലം. ഒടുവിൽ 1944 ആഗസ്റ്റ് 4 ഹിറ്റ്ലറിന്റെ പോലീസ് ഒളിത്താവളം കണ്ടെത്തി അവരെ അറസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു. കുപ്രസിദ്ധമായ കോൺസെൻട്രേഷൻ ക്യാമ്പിലേക്കാണ് അവരെ കൊണ്ടുപോയത്. അമ്മയും ചേച്ചിയും തുടർന്ന് ആൻ ഫ്രാങ്കും അവിടെ വെച്ച് മരണത്തിന് കീഴടങ്ങുന്നു. ജയിൽ മോചിതനായി തിരിച്ചെത്തിയ പിതാവിന് ചില കുടുംബ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളാണ് ഈ ഡയറി കുറിപ്പുകൾ നൽകിയത്. ഏറെ നാളത്തെ ആലോചനകൾക്ക് ശേഷം അവ പ്രസിദ്ധപ്പെടുത്താൻ അദ്ദേഹം അനുമതി നൽകി. അങ്ങനെ ലോകഭാഷകളിലൂടെ വിശ്വവ്യാപകമായി ആൻ ഫ്രാങ്കിന്റെ ഡയറി കുറിപ്പുകൾ ജനലക്ഷങ്ങൾ വായിക്കുന്നതിനിട വന്നു. ഇത്രയുമാണ് ഈ പുസ്തകത്തിന്റെ പശ്ചാത്തലം. എന്നാൽ അതിന്റെ ഉള്ളടക്കം ഇതല്ല. ആനിന്റെ 13-ാം പിറന്നാളിൽ അവൾക്ക് ലഭിച്ച സമ്മാനങ്ങളിൽ ഒന്നായിരുന്നു ഒരു മികച്ച ഡയറി. അവൾ അതിനെ കിറ്റി എന്ന് പേരിട്ട് വിളിച്ചു. പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട കിറ്റി എന്ന് സംബോധന ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് അവൾ ഡയറി കുറിപ്പുകൾ ആരംഭിക്കും. നിന്റെ ആൻ എന്ന് എഴുതി അവസാനിപ്പിക്കും. 1942 ജൂൺ 14 എഴുതി തുടങ്ങിയ കുറിപ്പുകൾ 1944 ആഗസ്റ്റ് 1 അവസാനിക്കുന്നതായി കാണാം. സ്വന്തം ജീവിതം കൊണ്ട് എഴുതിയ കൃതിയാണിത്. ആരെയും കാണിക്കാനോ അച്ചടിക്കാനോ വേണ്ടിയല്ല ഇതെല്ലാം എഴുതിയത്. സ്വന്തം ആത്മാവിനെ ആവിഷ്കരിക്കാനുള്ള ആത്മാർത്ഥമായ പരിശ്രമം മാത്രമായിരുന്നു. ഇതിൽ ആൺ പുലർത്തുന്ന സത്യസന്ധതയും തന്നെക്കുറിച്ച് തന്നെയുള്ള അവബോധവും ശ്രദ്ധേയമാണ്. അവൾ സ്വരുക്കൂട്ടിയെടുത്ത ചരിത്രവും ഭൂമിശാസ്ത്രവും സാഹിത്യവും വിശ്വാസവുമായ ദർശനമെല്ലാം ഈ ഡയറിക്കുറിപ്പുകൾ കാണാം. കേവലം 13 മുതൽ 15 വരെയുള്ള പ്രായത്തിനിടയിൽ ഒരു പെൺകുട്ടി കുറിച്ചു വെച്ച വാക്കുകളിൽ പലതും നമ്മെ അത്ഭുതപ്പെടുത്തുന്നതാണ്. പരേഡിൽ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ഗാന്ധിജിയുടെ നേതൃത്വത്തിൽ നടത്തുന്ന സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യ സമരത്തെക്കുറിച്ചും പ്രതിപാദിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. മാത്രമല്ല, ഒരു കൗമാരക്കാരിയായ പെൺകുട്ടിയുടെ ശാരീരികവും മാനസികവുമായ എല്ലാ ആശങ്കകളും തന്റെ ഡയറിക്കുറിപ്പിൽ പങ്കുവയ്ക്കുന്നു. കടുത്ത ഏകാന്തതയിൽ നിന്നും മോചനം നേടുന്നതിനാണ് ഡയറി എഴുതുവാൻ തീരുമാനിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. മനുഷ്യനേക്കാൾ ക്ഷമാശീലം ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുന്നത് കടലാസാണെന്നത് കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ അവൾ തന്റെ എല്ലാം തികഞ്ഞ കൂട്ടുകാരിയായി ഈ ഡയറിയെ കാണുന്നു. കടുത്ത പ്രതിസന്ധികളുടെ നടുവിലും പുലർത്തുന്ന ശുഭപ്രാപ്തിയുടെ സന്ദേശമാണ് ഈ പുസ്തകത്തിന്റെ കാതൽ. ഈ ദുരിതങ്ങൾക്കും ക്രൂരതകൾക്കും ഇടയിലും മനുഷ്യർ ആത്യന്തികമായി ഹൃദയത്തിൽ നന്മയുള്ളവരാണെന്ന് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. ദുരിതപ്പെഴുത്തുകൾക്ക് നടുവിലിരുന്ന് എല്ലാം മനസ്സിലാക്കിക്കൊണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ എഴുതുമ്പോൾ അത് നമ്മെ അത്ഭുതപ്പെടുത്തുന്നു. സഹന പർവ്വതങ്ങളെ സ്വപ്നങ്ങളാൽ പുതപ്പിച്ച പെൺകുട്ടിയായി അവൾ വായനക്കാരുടെ മനസ്സിൽ തങ്ങി നിൽക്കും. ചെറിയ പ്രായത്തിൽ അവൾ വായനയിലൂടെ നേടിയ അറിവുകൾ എന്നെ ഏറെ സ്വാധീനിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഓരോ യുദ്ധങ്ങളും ഫ്രാങ്കിനെ പോലെയുള്ള എത്ര കുട്ടികളുടെ സ്വപ്നങ്ങളും പ്രതീക്ഷകളും ജീവിതവുമാണ് തല്ലി തകർക്കുന്നത്. ഈ ആധുനിക കാലത്തും ഇതിൽ നിന്നൊന്നും നാം ഒരു തിരിച്ചറിവും സമ്പാദിച്ചില്ല എന്നതാണ് ഇന്നും സിറിയയിലും ഇറാഖിലും അഫ്ഗാനിസ്ഥാനിലും ഇസ്രയേലിലും ഒക്കെ നടന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന യുദ്ധങ്ങൾ നമ്മോട് പറയുന്നത്. എല്ലാവരും ഈ പുസ്തകം വായിക്കണമെന്ന് മാത്രം പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് നിർത്തുന്നു. താങ്ക് യു.
The story that I'm going to present today is Return of the Mummy by R.L. Stein. The four main characters are Uncle Ben, Gabe, Sari, and Nila. Sari is Uncle Ben's daughter and Gabe is a nephew. Uncle Ben is an Egyptologist, and this year he's digging an unexplored pyramid in Cairo. On their way, Sari was presented a pendant by Uncle Ben. The specialty of the pendant was that the pendant was made of stone called amber and a beetle called scarab, which was trapped in it 4,000 years old. The pendant was 4,000 years old, which made me excited. I was interested in the pendant. When they reached the pyramid to find the tomb, they saw a lady. That was Nila. She requested if she could accompany them to the tomb. They found the tomb. It was the tomb of Prince Kordu. When they reached the tomb, Nila chanted something which made the mummy alive. She told the mummy that we shall rule Egypt together as we did 4,000 years ago. I was surprised by what Nila told, and I was excited for what next comes. Nila was alive because of the pendant that Sari had. So Sari broke the pendant and the memory was dead again. And 11.
This is the book I'm going to talk about. So this is a book called Kensuke's Kingdom. This was a book when I was reading when I was very young, and I still love the story behind it. So this book is about a young boy who disappears on the who falls over. His parents are going on a cruise ship, and then suddenly he just runs overboard with his dog. He's convinced that he's going to die, but then sometime later, someone drags him inside and drags him to a stranded island and like gives him water and food. But then like when his name is, I mean, the boy's name is Michael. So after some time, when Michael just gets up and sees around, he notices that he's in a stranded island and is like checking if he has any source of food and water, when he sees a bowl of fresh water and a fresh fry of fish. So puzzled, he starts eating and he notices that his dog Stella is always with him. Then he notices a shaggy figure around 200 meters from him. That was Kensuke. Kensuke is an old retired Navy officer from Japan. He believed that his family was destroyed in the war caused by World War II, and he was like, but he was like one of the saviors, and he was like the hero for the Japan. But he also disappeared, and he was also in the stranded island. So this is Kensuke only knows Japanese and Michael only knows English. So this is a story about them like putting all their weakness behind and trying to like overcome their weakness and learn about each other. In the end, they become like damn good friends and like even try to like build ships and everything. But like due to the high tide and waves, they couldn't. But then in the end, this ship, the Peggy Sue, comes in search of them, and their mother and parents reach their island and they rescue them. So that's the story. Like the story is mainly about the hardship faced by a young, like 12-year-old in how to survive in an island.
Welcome everyone to our presentation on the book talk by me, Nikhil Binu, on behalf of Team 2 Fuel. Today I will be talking about the Japanese comic series called manga, and a specific manga in this called One Punch Man. As of me, I like fantasy fiction stories, and in this manga called the One Punch Man, there's a really inspiring story behind the character. The basic story of the One Punch Man is the Japanese superhero franchise created by the artist One tells the story of Saitama, a superhero who can defeat any opponent with a single punch but seeks to find a worthy opponent after growing bored by a lack of challenge due to his overwhelming strength. So that I am going to present today the manga One Punch Man that have some qualities and characters that inspired me. Saitama, the first chapter came out in 2012 and the latest chapter was released on 12th May. Saitama shows the embodiment of determination and hard work. He was not gifted any powers, but he became a superhero by working hard every day and achieving his goal. He has never ever missed a training session or skipped a day due to any reason. The character Saitama is known for working odd jobs and has a minimal income. He does not lead a lavish lifestyle and only does this work of a superhero to protect people, not for fame, respect, or any other means. Saitama also has a sidekick or his disciple called Genos. Genos is an extremely loyal disciple. Even though Genos is higher ranked than Saitama, he does not feel any jealousy of that. Genos has followed Saitama blindly and does everything what Saitama says. He has been a true friend and saved Saitama many times and also protected him many times. So here we can see that Saitama is leading a similar life and doesn't have ego about his powers, and so does Genos. So the next Thank you for the presentation. This is all about to say about this.
So this is a book called Siddhartha, written by Hermann Hesse. When we hear when we hear the name Siddhartha, the first person who comes into our mind is Gautama Buddha. So we think that this book is about his life, his story, but this is not a book about Gautama Buddha. This is actually a fictional story written by Hermann Hesse, but there is a presence of Gautama Buddha in this book, in the story. So this story actually deals with a fictional character named Siddhartha, who is in search of his spiritual journey by self-discovery. He want to discover the spirit, his his. He want to get enlightened by himself. He don't want to rely on someone or anyone. He wants to get enlightened by himself. The story actually starts with the story of Siddhartha. Siddhartha was a young boy who is a Brahmin. He's grown in a Brahmin family, and he is all he's and he has a best friend called Govinda. He has his family always is conducting all the rituals and all that around him. He only sees that rituals and that priest life only he sees. His family, and he is always loved by everyone in the village, and everyone loves his, and everybody believes that he can become a good priest in his future. But he doesn't want to be a priest. He wants to find his own path to his life. He wants to uh, get enlightened. He want to get an understanding of the life. And he and Govinda, he and his best friend Govinda also accompanies him. Govinda loves his friend Siddhartha, and he always want to follow Siddhartha. And both of them go and join Samanas, who are a group of people who who actually do the act of austerity, and who are Samanas are the people who actually do these types of act to earn to get enlightened. He and Govinda goes to these people, but after a few time he finds that he can't get over to these people. So they Siddhartha and Govinda start traveling, and while traveling they meet Gautama Buddha. So Gautama Buddha, he starts to take knowledge from Gautama Buddha. He wants to earn knowledge. He have a thirsty of knowledge, and he tries to earn knowledge from Gautama Buddha. But still, at a point, he feels like no, we don't want a teacher. I want to earn knowledge. I earn enlightenment by my side, by myself. And Buddha encourages him. You can go if you want to, you can stay if you want to. So he decides to leave Govinda. Govinda does not want to come with Siddhartha. He want to hear more preachings from Buddha, so he stays with Buddha. And Siddhartha left the place, and he goes by a river. He goes with a ferryman in the river, and he reaches a city, and he meets a lady called Kamela, and she's really beautiful. He gets attracted by her beauty, and he wants to earn love from her. So for earning love from her, he actually goes to Kamala and asks for love, and she says that you should have. What is your skills? He said that I can think, I can fast, and uh, uh, I can fast, I can think. Yeah, he told that, and uh, Kamala told that I don't want these skills. I want good clothing. I want good money, I want to be more rich. She is already rich, and she wants more clothing, more ornaments, and she demands all these things from Siddhartha. So Siddhartha decides to fulfill her wishes, and joins a he joins a businessman in that city itself, and start doing business, and he earns a lot of money, and he become rich. And he also gives he also fulfill the wishes of Kamla, and they fall in love with each other. And he also go into dirty business. He also start drinking and all. He starts drinking and smoking. But one night he feels like this is all nonsense. He started hating their life. He is fed up of their life, and he leaves all that, and he go back to the river to go back to where he came from. When he goes back to the river, he finds the same ferryman there, and he gets onto the ferry. And while they are traveling in the ferry, he starts listening to the nature, to the river especially, where the river starts the sound of the river makes him like feeling like it starts makes him enlightened. The flow of the river, the sound of the river feels like actually it is actually speaking out, or like it is the river is actually saying Om. It feels like the river is saying Om. And by traveling he goes in the ferry with the ferryman for a long time, travel in the river for a long time. And by hearing this river's voice, he gets enlightened. And by getting enlightened, he goes back to Govinda has been a Buddhist that while, and he also shares his enlightenment journey, and he also gives that enlightenment to Govinda also. And that is the whole story. This actually gives a moral that you can this is you don't need to rely on someone or something to get enlightenment. You can you can just go through your life. You can listen listen to your life, listen to the voices surrounding you for getting enlightenment. That's what made me interesting about the story. Thank you.
Yes. Next.
So let me hear from the team Nyota for today's hotspot. So today I would like to introduce a book which is very special to me, and it's one of the favorite book of mine. So it's a Malayalam book. This is the book. This is written by Ambujam Kadambu. And the name of the book is Malavikude Alilita. Okay, so let's tell about the story of this book. Like this is a short story telling about a girl who lives in a house which is surrounded by a forest, and her family consists of father, mother, brother, and a grandmother. And telling about her, she is very close to nature. She observes nature very carefully and all, and she used to write notes on it. She write about the nature. She observe everything, and she write about it and present it in the class. So one day for writing a note, she was following the ants over there, and like she entered into this forest. She saw she wondered, and she told it to her mother and all, but they don't believe it. And she followed peacock. So this speak and explain a lot of beautiful moments with the peacock. And like after some this peacock just disappeared from there, and
1 week later they came back. So she asked about what happened. She asked what happened, and they said like they lived in a forest near that, and now they are constructing an airport there, so they lost their friends and all. So she became sad, and she started to work for that. And first she took pictures of this peacock and started to draw them. And when the anniversary of their school came, she just exhibited these photos, and she was very appreciated by that. And like after that, she drew more photos of them and done an exhibition, and she got more popular for that. And because of this, like more reporters and all came to her to ask more about that, and tried to take photos of these peacocks and all. So she is deciding, she and her family is deciding to give these peacocks to the forest department. And this is it is very sad moment for her, but she do it for their good. And like after that, one popular film directress came coming to her and asking about this, and they are making a short film about all the things happened. And that short film is also getting more viral. So this story talk about how humans are destroying and how it affects the uh, living beings in the nature. But how it influenced me is like very different, because I got this book from by winning in a competition, and I was not that to reading, but like after getting I don't open this book for a long time, and after some time anyway I got this book as a gift, so I should read it. So I just started to read, and after some time I got interested in reading. So due to this book I started reading, I got interested in reading. So like till now I'm not a very good reader, but like that's how I got influenced to reading, and all the credits goes to this book. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So today our team is going to talk about a book. So the book that influenced me is The Magic of the Lost Temple. The book that I like is Magic of the Lost Temple, written by Sudhamurthy. This book have influenced me in many ways. This book have given me a knowledge of the difference between the lifestyle in village and city, and give me the knowledge that the people who lives in village are more close to nature than the people who lives in city. So about the author, Sudhamurthy is a great author and also a social worker. She is a chairperson of Infosys Foundation and also the first woman engineer who was appointed by Tata. And the summary of this book is: a young girl named Mimi was surprised and enchanted by a story of a stepwell said by her grandparents to her, and on her surprise, she once stunted on that stepwell on a rainy day by accident, and that makes the story more interesting. And she found out the stepwell, and she was the first person to know about the stepwell after a long year. Thank you.